Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to MHS. Why did you decide to get involved in education and make it your career?
So when I first went to college, I thought I was going to do athletic training, and then while I was in college, I started teaching homeschool students in addition to my coursework. And once I started doing that, I decided to switch my major and started a teaching major and majored in health and physical education. So that's what I started teaching for homeschool students as well, and then continued that into my career.
Can you take us through your resume a bit, where you went to school, what you've studied, and where you've worked before?
I actually grew up in a small town in Indiana, but close to the Ohio line, called Northeastern, and it was a small high school. After I left there, I went to Manchester College in northern Indiana and spent 5 years there because I traveled abroad for a year and studied in England and was able to do some academic work there, but also get to travel a little bit. After I graduated, I moved to Lafayette and became a teacher at a K-8 school and taught. While I was there, I had the opportunity to do my master's degree at Ball State University. And there I studied educational leadership and became a principal at the school that I first started teaching. And then eventually moved to Indianapolis, where I taught again, and I became a principal there. I did a dean's position, did a lot of operational work, and last year I served as a superintendent for a very large network of schools and traveled around and helped them with their turnaround academies until I came here this year.
What led you to Martinsville?
So when I decided that I was going to leave the urban setting in Indianapolis, I started kind of looking at communities that kind of surrounded the Indianapolis area because I still wanted to be connected there, but still had a hometown feel. And through my past experiences, we had done some sports team competitions down here as well. And so I just became familiar with the community and saw that there was a vacancy and decided that I'd be interested in transitioning down here.
You started here the 1st of July. How has it been adapting as the principal amidst the pandemic?
So it's probably been the most interesting and challenging scenarios in my career. Mostly being that when I started, one, there was very limited staff on campus, but also that we were starting school without students being present. So one of the big things about coming in as a leader is often being connected to the student body and the teaching community, and it becomes a real challenge when students aren't here on campus, and slowly we're getting there, making that transition, but building a culture and expectations when students aren't present. So a lot of it has just really been based on communication and reaching out to students and connecting via email and social media. But hopefully here in the coming weeks as we transition to green, we'll be able to be out and about a lot more as well.
What can we expect post-pandemic?
So I think post-pandemic, we want to be as normal as possible. I think one of the things also that drew me to Martinsville that I didn't have as much opportunity to do in Indianapolis at the urban setting was the things that students remember about high school, whether it be dances and sporting events or on the academic side, or co-curriculars, looking at marching band, choir, show choirs, being active in those and making sure that we're out in the community and people know who we are and what we're doing. I think coming in here, there's so many things that we're already able to celebrate, but we want to continue crafting those and making sure it's what the student body wants, but we're still representing our community well as we're doing activities and co-curriculars.
What are some programs you like to implement at the school?
So I think one of the things I have a huge passion for is the CTE programming or VOTEC, and really seeing us build those out and connecting them to our community. I know we do a lot of work with Hoosier Hills, but also the programming that we have the ability to do here is beyond amazing. So I think as we can work through those programs and build things that are already engaging into careers is something that's very important to me. But also figuring out what we can do for students who maybe aren't interested in athletics. What's their niche and how can we get them involved in our community? Because oftentimes we do talk about athletics a lot, but there's a large population that may not be interested in that. So also starting to engage those students and seeing what we can do for them here on campus.
You're working with a new administrative team that is also new to MHS. How have you all meshed together so far?
Really well, actually. So I was fortunate that I got to be part of the team that picked them, but also that I've worked with a lot of brand new administrators over my time and done a lot of mentoring. So I'm very comfortable having a new team come in and start working together. We spend a lot of time together and communicating a lot, but always making sure that we're talking about kids, and that's where our passions really align, and it'll be what drives us this school year as well.
How are you enjoying being a part of Martinsville and the Martinsville High School community?
So far I have loved it. I was talking to actually the other administrators the other morning, and just having cohort A in and then cohort B this morning, being able to walk the halls and even just being able to say good morning and talk, everyone is so friendly. Community-wise, there's been tons of support and outreach, phone calls and emails. So I think the biggest thing is the support that's in this community has been absolutely amazing to start connecting to, and it's a new experience for me. I didn't have that as much in my old position, so having that support and communication has been really key to that.
Thank you for answering our questions, and welcome to MHS.